Hello everyone. So this is another passage which we are going to discuss with you guys, and there are 417 words in this passage. Let's read the passage and understand what it is all about. So the most profound human questions are the ones that perplex us the most. Now again we have read this word profound earlier in passages. Profound means deep or very knowledgeable. So the most deep human questions or most knowledgeable human questions are the ones that perplex us the most. That means that puzzle us the most. So these, what are those questions? Who are we? Why are we here? Where did we come from? What is our place in the universe? What is the purpose of our lives? Is there a purpose to our lives? What happens after death? Universally, everyone has posed these questions throughout time. Most cultures have developed sophisticated beliefs and myths to provide answers to these fundamentally important questions. So almost every culture has developed some set of beliefs and myths to answer these questions which everyone is asking. Cosmologies are conceptual frameworks that present the universe, the cosmos, as an orderly system and include answers to those basic questions about the place of humankind in the universe. So cosmology is a branch of astronomy that deals with evolution and development of this world and the universe and everything. And cosmologies, as is given, are conceptual framework that present the world or the universe as an orderly system and includes answers to these questions. Traditionally, the questions posed above have been the basis for origin myths. So all the questions that people pose, they are responsible for the basis of origin myths, usually considered the most sacred of all cosmological conceptions. So all the conceptual frameworks that cosmologies present to us, or out of them, these origin myths are the most sacred of all the cosmological conceptions, and these are derived from these questions and are generated in different cultures using their beliefs and myths and everything. They are transmitted from generation to generation through ritual, education, laws, art and cultural performances such as dance and music. They are highly symbolic and are expressed in a language rich with various levels of meaning. So these answers are in itself not straight away answers, and they can be interpreted in a variety of ways. These supernatural explanations are accepted on the basis of faith and have provided partially satisfying answers to these profound questions. So to accept these explanations, you should have faith, because these explanations are supernatural, so they are not very scientific, and to accept that, you need to develop faith on these beliefs and myths. Then only you can accept these answers. So few people sometimes are not willing to accept these answers, and most of the people, because they have faith on the culture and myths and beliefs of particular culture, so they accept these supernatural explanations. Many origin myths deal with the origin of humans in the context of the origin of the universe. So most of these origin myths relate origin of humans with the origin of universe. For example, the Navajo Indians traditionally believed that holy people, supernatural and sacred, so these people are supernatural and sacred, lived below ground in 12 lower worlds. A massive underground flood forced the holy people to crawl through a hollow reed to the surface of the earth, where they created the universe. So these people, they believe that there were some holy people living underground, and when they came to the earth because of certain natural phenomena, they created a universe. A deity named Changing Woman gave birth to the hero twins called Monster Slayer and Child of the Waters. Mortals called Earth Surface people emerged, and first man and first woman were formed from the ears of white and yellow corn. So these are the beliefs and myths of Navajo Indians. Another cosmological tradition found in India teaches that life resulted from the opening of a cosmic egg, which is the source of all life. In China, in the religious tradition of Taoism, the male and female principles known as yin and yang are the spiritual and material sources for the origins of humans and other living forms. Yin is the passive, negative, feminine force or principle in the universe, the source of cold and darkness. Yang is the active, positive, masculine force or principle in the universe, the source of heat and light. So this was the tradition in China. Taoists believe that the interaction of these two opposite yet complementary principles, complementary means something which assist each other. So two people are complementary if they help each other or assist each other. So those are called complementary. So here complementary principles. So you can see that yang was active and yin was passive. Yang was source of heat and light and yang was source of cold and darkness. So they both complete each other. So complementary means people who add together to bring completeness. That the interaction of these two people yet complementary principles brought forth the universe and all living forms out of chaos. So the whole idea of the passage was to talk about different cosmological conceptions, to tell that these questions, these profound questions are the basis of development of these origin myths, and these questions are answered by taking some supernatural phenomena and are supported by sophisticated beliefs and myths of different culture. So different culture has different answers to these questions, and to accept those answers you need to have faith. So this is all about this passage. Let's read the questions. So the first question is, the crux of the passage above can be stated in one of the following ways. Choose the one that is the most appropriate. So the crux is something which we discussed earlier. Let's see which one relates with the crux that we have identified. The rituals and beliefs that people adopt to understand how we came to be on this earth may be varied, but they ultimately come to the same principle of cosmology. Okay, let's read other ones as well and then we'll discuss each one of them. The Navajos, the Hindus and the Chinese believe that the world came about because of the two principal forces, that of the male and the female, came together as one. Now, this is not the right answer, so I can straight away negate it, because this is just the example portion of given in this passage. This is not all traditional explanations even, and this is not the crux of the passage. So crux of the passage is that cosmological conceptions are trying to give answers to these questions, and these questions result into origin myths, and which are the most sacred, and they take some supernatural explanations, and they are because of beliefs and myths, and you need to have faith to accept that, and it is varied to from culture to culture. So these all things we need to take care in the crux answer option. Every answer within cosmologies takes the form of one or another origin myth, and thus becomes part of the larger fabric of traditional myths about how the world began. Now if you see this option, not every answer within cosmology takes the form of one or another origin myth. So what here it is mentioned that these questions result into origin myths. So they are basis for origin myths, but not every answer is origin myth, right? So these questions resulted in the basis for origin myth, but not every answer is origin myth. Here it is said that every answer within cosmology takes the form of one or another origin myth. So because of that, this is wrong. Now you can again understand the generalization part. So these words, these signal words are very important for you to consider. Last one, the cosmological explanations about the universe are aided by origin myths from various belief systems and religions, and together they give versions of how humans and other beings came to be. So this is something which completes everything. So cosmologies, so it is saying that these cosmologies, frameworks or conceptual frameworks are aided by origin myths, because few answers to these questions constitute of origin myths, and these origin myths are the most sacred of all cosmological conceptions. So they are, obviously that means that they aid cosmological explanations, and they are different various belief systems and religions, and together they give versions of how. So versions of how, that means everyone is giving their own versions of how humans and other beings came to be. So for me this one is the correct one. Let's go back to the first one and see why that one is not correct or is not taking all the important pointers. The rituals and beliefs that people adopt to understand how we came to be on this earth may be varied, but they ultimately come to the same principle of cosmology. So there is no principle of cosmology that we discussed here. Every tradition is having a different belief, every tradition is having a different myth, and they are having different supernatural explanations. You can see from here as well that no one is saying that, so China is saying that it is from yin and yang, Indians are saying that it is from ears of white and yellow corn, the Navajo Indians were saying something else. So they do not lead to the same principle of cosmology. In fact, there is no same principle that we discussed here in the passage. So the correct answer to this question is option number D. Second, the author of the passage chooses to open with a range of partly rhetorical questions that seem interlinked because, so he started with these questions, and what he did with these questions, he then said that there are multiple answers to these questions, but there is no single answer which can give a perfect explanation to all these questions. So every answer is partially true, partially wrong, and different cultures are giving different answers. So this is the reason, this is what he did with these questions. So let's see something like that. The author wants to start by setting up the questions which he will try to answer in the rest of the passage. Okay, these are the main questions that the passage and the larger world attempts to answer or prove answerable. Okay, the author wants to emphasize the importance of these eternal questions, but also signify the inherent lack of one complete answer. So this completes everything that is happening here. Let's read the last one as well. These questions form the basis of evolution and cosmology, which are the prime subjects of the passage that follows. That is true that these questions form the basis of evolution and cosmology, but this is not why the author has decided to open up with these questions. Author has opened up with these questions because he wants to emphasize that these questions are still unanswered. So as soon as he asks these questions, then he states that most cultures have developed myths to provide answers to these fundamentally important questions, and the second paragraph you can see that have provided partially satisfying answers to these profound questions. So no answer is perfect and is complete, and this is the whole passage. So after asking these questions, he is trying to explain that no one has still able to answer these questions and how they are trying to answer these questions. So the author wants to emphasize the importance of these eternal questions. He has said that these are fundamentally important questions, but also signify the inherent lack of one complete answer. So I think option number C is the complete and perfect answer to why author has started this passage with these questions. Option D was close but that doesn't answers why he has started with that. Option B, these are the main questions that the passage and the larger world attempts to answer or prove unanswerable. Almost true, almost correct, but again you can see that out of these options, option C is the best suited answer. So I'll go with option number C. Question number 3 is, what is the relevance of the use of terms such as changing woman, earth surface people, child of the waters, etc. in the section about the Navajos? So he discussed about these names and there were some deities, and then there were mortals as well. So the earth surface people were mortals. So let's see the answer choices. These are universally accepted rough translation from the native language of the Navajo culture and are used to maintain the integrity of their original myth as true to their context as possible, even in translated form. Now there are so many things in this answer which we do not know. First, whether it is universally accepted rough translation, and so just because of this I would not go with this answer, because there are so many facts which are not even mentioned in the passage. They may be true, that might be the reason, but it is not given in the passage. So I can't go with this universally accepted rough translations. These are widely known names of their deities and higher powers and are used by the author to indicate the deep respect that they have for any and all cultures. So these names are not only of deities and higher powers, these names are also of humans or mortals like earth surface people. So that leads to not marking this option. Point number C. These terms can be found in the native languages of Navajos, who use these terms to separate the mortals from the immortals or the divine. So I won't say that this is the perfect answer, but still we'll keep it and we'll check the other option first. These are names of their gods, just like again it is similar to option number B. So these names are not names of all gods. They are names of mortals like humans as well, which are not gods. So this is not correct one. So since we are left with only one option, that is option number C, so I'll mark option number C as the answer. Though doesn't give much about the answer from the passage, but still we can see that these names are differentiating mortals and deities and higher power people living in underground. So I'll go with this option, that is option number C. So that's it for this passage, guys. I hope you enjoyed the explanation. Again, please like, share and subscribe our video and YouTube channel, and please pour in your suggestions if you have any, and we'll try to accommodate your suggestions if possible. That's it, guys. Happy learning. Enjoy your day.